man doth not live by bread only, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
All right, we are finally back, and we are with everyone's favorite. Mikey Jenny is going to be joining us to talk about things that tie into things that we have already talked about in the past. I'm looking forward to covering all this stuff because we are in some interesting times, and I think most of you can sense the spiritual warfare has been ramping up lately. It has been at a different level. And it's because things are going to unfold the way the Bible says. And these unclean spirits, like frogs in Revelation mentioned, are deceiving the kings of the earth. And we are seeing that directly. And there's a purpose behind those specific deceptions. And so we have Mikey Jenny from Candid Truth. I'm going to be bringing him on. The things that you're about to see are going to be mind-blowing. And they're going to tie in with things that we've already talked about. So I look forward to connecting the dots there, because when he was bringing about some of the points with the new Genesis mission that allegedly Trump is bringing about, I know he's not orchestrating all this stuff behind the scenes. There's other powers at work helping to bring all this stuff together. And so we'll tie in those things and how it relates to Scripture and the times that we are in. And so here is Mikey Jenny. I thank you guys for your patience, because we were trying to get things working, but here he is. It's good to see him back here with us, a fan favorite.
Dude, I'm digging your new set, man. It looks legit. Looks like a talk show host.
Yeah, it's we've increased our budget by $20.
That's what's up, man. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening. Somebody sent me a link about this Genesis mission thing one night, and I was like, I watched it and I just wasn't picking up on it. I was like, why is this so crazy? Like, what are they talking about? It seemed like it was talking about climate change and stuff, which I don't buy into any of that stuff, but I couldn't really pick up with what was going on until I actually went to the whitehouse.gov and looked at it right there on the menu. And yeah, I looked at what they were really trying to do. And what it is it's incorporating everything. So a year ago, at the beginning of the year, or even last year, the United Nations were pushing this AI governance into existence. Like, no, we didn't vote on it. You didn't vote on it. I didn't vote on it. We were all distracted by something else, probably Super Bowl or something. And I remember doing a video about how they just said that they're going to push AI governance by like 2030 or something like that. And in the comments section, I remember people being like, "Oh, you're misunderstanding it. This is talking about governing AI governance." I was like, "No, I think they're talking about AI governing us." And so there's some skepticism there. But then, in like January, Trump was talking to these guys. I can't even remember these guys' names, but these AI bigwigs. And he was like, come on out here, tell them about the new Stargate thing we're going to do. And they're talking about this Stargate AI total AI surveillance, where every person on Earth will be watched 24/7 by AI. Now you don't have to depend on some sleepy security guard behind a bunch of monitors. Like, AI is the judge. Judgment Day. AI is the judge. And that happened in like January. They were talking about that, but then you didn't really hear much about it anymore. And now all of a sudden it's like, yep, we just launched Genesis mission on November 24. It's already here. It's already like in action. Wow. And we're not voting on this stuff. Like, none of us are like choosing this. It's just this Pandora's box where AI has been opened and we can't put it back in, and it's evolving itself, and we're turning into this Terminator sci-fi movie in real life.
That's crazy, because I was watching your video about this Genesis mission, and 2 years ago when I was at work, I saw what you were talking about going on in China, and I didn't know you were going to bring it up, and you did. And because you were talking about Terminator and the predictive programming with Terminator, things that I missed. And if you guys haven't ever checked out Mikey's stuff, it's in the description. He breaks down the hidden meanings in this predictive programming that we see, and it's ruined a lot of shows for me and a lot of movies. Almost everything now is ruined.
Yeah.
But you were talking about Terminator and how they flip the script. You know, the good guys always have attributes of the evil one, and the bad guys, the villains, are always set up to kind of mimic qualities of the Most High. And you did that with the Terminator. And the AI corporation they were battling was called Skynet, right? Wasn't that the villain corporation in the movie? They're trying to stop Skynet. And most people know that China is under full surveillance to where their people are being watched, and they have isn't it like a social credit score to where like how good you are following their rules depends on your score and your ability to buy, sell, and do things and be a part of society.
Yep.
And the name of that company, what is it? What is the name of that?
Oh, it's Skynet, bro.
Yeah, it's Skynet, but it's the good one.
It.
No, it's the good one. That's why that's what they're saying anyways. It's not like the Terminator movie.
Right. No.
The good one called Skynet. It just happens to be monitoring everything.
It's kind of like good witchcraft.
Yeah. And they have
like the Harry Potter stuff, not the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you don't know, he's being sarcastic, guys. I know people will be like, "Wait, I saw that, ban them." Yeah, yeah. Sarcasm, but yeah, this stuff is dark. And I just saw an article with all these people in China who are now homeless because of this. Like hardworking, honest people who probably searched for our videos on YouTube and are now banned from living with Americans.
Yeah.
It'll be here soon. The rest of their people. And being a part of that system because of Skynet, which is now what sounds like the Genesis mission we're going to be talking about, or you're going to be explaining, because I'm new to this. I just read the website yesterday because I was thinking, man, when you said I'm pulling this up from the website, the White House's website, I'm like, man, there's no way that's where this is from. But you look it up, it's on their website and it's official, and they're trying to bring about this new age of technology, which is an old age of stuff, because you think pre-flood, what the fallen were teaching mankind was all these new technologies, and now they are bringing that back. It's a new types of technologies. It was new technologies back then, originally, before the flood, when they were corrupting all flesh and teaching them how to make weapons and abortions and all the things they were teaching mankind. Now they're doing that again. They're bringing back, I mean, just to a degree we've yet to see. And that's why technology is changing so fast. And it's changed over our lives. I think Mikey and I, coming from the same time period, being about the same age, we've seen the shift from no GMO foods in stores when we were born to no cell phones. So all of a sudden, it was like Nintendo games, things that seemed innocent, to all of a sudden touch screens and cell phones. And I mean, it has been a major shift. And so we're in that time where we've seen that. And some of the younger people here may not have experienced that window of time before. We were all, like that song says, prisoners here of our own device, and we're all just looking at our own devices. Like it's changed drastically. And so I think this stuff plays into.
Well, the Bible talks about knowledge will increase, which I think is, technology and stuff. And you think about how rapidly it's increased in our lifetime. Like you were saying, shortly before our lifetime, our grandparents and stuff were sitting around the radio. And shortly before that, the car was being invented. But before that, it was horse and buggy. For how long? I mean, all the way back to the Bible days, they had chariots and horses, and, communication was whatever, like pigeon or something, or like scrolls and stuff. It wasn't until like, what's that, Morse code and things like that. That was kind of like really advanced. But from there till now, we're talking like 100 years. I mean, it's like it went from thousands of years of just horse and buggy and no kind of digital communication that we know of anyway, to literally we're doing a video live. I mean, you and I are in two different places. There's millions of people watching right now in this live. There's 5 million people watching. It's just crazy how advanced we got so quick.
Yeah, they were in
AI. We don't even know what's going on anymore.
They were in a Zoom call with the moon, over 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Forget about that technology. We
Well, we
destroyed
destroyed
that.
that technology.
Yeah.
It's a painful process to bring it back.
Now we're here doing what they did back then, only way less technological because we're not on the moon or anything. Yeah, fun times. So yeah, I will let Mikey. And it looks like most people are getting here now. More people tune in when you're here, Mikey.
Oh,
It's
good. I'm glad
amazing.
you guys are all
Yeah,
here.
we get to
All right.
triple digits when you're here.
in
Feel honored.
the chat. Oh, really? Cool. 108. Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Really helps get this video out into the algorithm.
Yeah, get notified because when we go live with stuff like this, it's important information and it's going to be pouring out pretty quickly. When he's one video that I can't watch on full speed. Most videos I'll watch on full speed. His you got to slow it down and he'll throw out a lot real fast. So you got to be prepared for that. It's amazing. It's like wow, wow, wow. And so many different connections. So we're blessed that he's here sharing this stuff with you guys as well because it's a shift with what they're doing with this new so-called mission, and that's what they called the Apollo missions. You know, the sun god missions, where they were using Saturn rockets to get to the Apollo missions. You know, to the moon.
Isn't
A
that
sun god going
interesting?
to the moon.
And
No.
we are missionaries, and we have a mission to get the gospel out to the ends of the earth.
No.
And they got their mission. Satan's got a mission too.
And weren't they pretending to read Genesis? And now here we are. There's a mission about It's helping Revelation unfold, and they're calling it Genesis mission, getting us back to which actually it makes sense if you think about Genesis, pre-flood Genesis.
Yeah.
That's their mission, getting you to where there's this outpouring of false wisdom, and it is wisdom, but it's the wisdom of the fallen, and it's designed to control everything we do, give them insight into everything we're doing. Remember?
Well, you know, this whole Illuminati world, controllers or whatever, it all started back in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
When Satan said, eat this forbidden fruit and you'll get this forbidden knowledge of good and evil. And now we live in a world where we have an abundance of knowledge at our fingertips. Anything you want to know, from the worst to the best. But that's why when Christ does return, nobody's going to have an excuse. You know, none of us can say, well, you know, I didn't know. We had all kinds of technology to do our due diligence and searching out for truth, and we used it, you know, playing Bejeweled for hours a day or whatever.
Yeah,
that's our fault.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or watching, you know, really terrible things that we shouldn't be watching.
Yeah, doom scrolling. That's what my friend, he called me and was telling me. He's like, yeah, I've just been doom scrolling. It's depressing. All I do is scroll and see all the doom and gloom in the world. And I'm like, yes, like seeing what's going on in the world is depressing because there's so much spiritual warfare and darkness going on right now. I mean, it's shootings and floods everywhere you look. And if I wanted to spend time focusing on that, I would never run out of content because it's always, oh, today there was an earthquake. Today there was a volcano. Today there was a massive landslide and a massive this and that. And it's like, it's all the time. Okay, I'm seeing some unkindness. Yeah, and thank you again. As we're starting, thank you for our moderators for being on top of things while we focus on sharing this stuff. It's good to trust that you guys.
And I love my haters, you know.
Yeah,
even pray for the haters.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll let you go ahead and begin, Mikey. It looks like we got enough people here to get started. Thank you for your patience. It took us a while to get audio and stuff figured out, and if there's anything wrong, you can go back and watch his original video, and it's very clear and it's straight to the point. And you can find that on his channel, Candid Truth.
Candid Truth.
Make sure you go there, like, subscribe, support. Links to support are also in the description. If you say, oh, dude, I love what Mikey's saying, go there and support their ministry. They do this full time, which is a greater leap of faith than you can imagine until you take it yourself. You realize
you know all about it, bro.
That's almost like you're bungee jumping there with a cord that you're like, where's the cord? I'm jumping. Oh, wait. Shield of faith. There it is. That's all I needed.
That's right.
Yeah. Slowing down the fall. And so just basics. What is the Genesis mission? Like what? Because you summarized it. You didn't go through every single bullet point on the list. Yeah. It's a long list of bullet points.
It is very long. And so I put together a summary. So I'm not seeing on screen. Do you have it on screen?
There it is. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So this is a screenshot from whitehouse.gov. You can check it out yourself. Just look up, White House Gov Genesis mission, and it's a long thing, but I did want to point out this. It's nothing is by coincidence. Nothing is by accident in this stuff. And when you see, are you guys still seeing my stuff here? Sorry.
Yeah, I see it.
There's a symbol at the top, and Josh has done a great job at breaking down some of the symbolism that goes back to Rome, because all roads lead to Rome. And prophetically, I think the first beast of Revelation is Rome and all that, and America is going to unite with Rome and all this stuff. And you got this eagle or phoenix, the phoenix rising out of the ashes, or this is the Roman eagle. And you have the 13 arrows. All this is occult symbolism. But then you got these numbers, 45, which when you add 4 and 5, you get 9. When you add 4 and 7, you get 11. It's not a coincidence. There's even a little dash between it, just like when we see 9/11 in memory of or whatever. Remember 9/11. 9/11, it's an occult ritual. This is all about death and rebirth. That's why it's the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Yes. When you really look into this, that's why those towers were built. They were built to come down in a fire and to be put back as one. Two become one. It's the one world tower. We have a video on that. Check it out. It blew my mind when God was helping me like put together that presentation and numerology and all this stuff. When you look into what the number 9 means in the occult and what the number 11 means in the occult, what it means when they put them together, it's mind-blowing. It literally means to tear down symbolic or physical towers, 2 of them, and to build it back as one.
Wow.
Oh, is that like the original coin?
Yeah, this is the original, and I want to do a little, see if you guys can spot the difference over here, because I didn't realize there was a change. When you showed this, Mikey, I went back and looked up where did this come from, who made it. I tried to look in the history of it, because it's on that great seal, where you have the president's seal right here. And there's the one on the dollar bill, that has the New Order of the Ages. But this one in particular, I was like, what is it holding on to? There's arrows, but it's got the olive branch that represents peace. And the olive branch and the olive tree was always significant in the Bible. And you think, well, this could be, it's about peace is what they say. Its head is turned towards peace. Well, look at the head in the original. What's its head facing in the original? It's facing the arrows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they swapped feet.
Yeah. So they've switched it out to where, its head's still facing left, so it's kind of subtle. You're like, oh, it didn't change. No, it changed. They put the arrows on the other side, head still looking to the right, and it has this little pentagram of stars above its head, kind of in like a little sun halo.
It's in a hexagram shape.
Yeah. So I think that's significant that now it's, had the war, and now you have the peace, and I feel like maybe soon they're going to put the arrows back or something, bring it back to the old ways that that's how it originally was. It was about war, bringing us back to Mars, which is their god of war, and that was their Roman god of war. So there's a reason they're talking about these things and bringing that about. I thought that was fascinating that they did the little subtle through there with their 9/11. What was the numbers? Arrows. What was those numbers for? What was their reason for putting the 45 and 47 there?
It's a Trump thing. So you'll see Trump with a hat, or you can buy a red MAGA hat, and it says 45, 47, because he was the 45th president and the 47th president.
Oh, okay.
Because there was Biden in between there. None of this is by accident, though. The whole thing is scripted. All this is like a pro wrestling match.
Yeah.
And the ironic part is that Trump used to be in these pro wrestling things all the time back in the WWF, man.
Yeah.
So he's telling you, even back then, like, I'm an actor, I'm a pro wrestler, and come on, let's put me in politics.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you have these numbers, 9/11, with 13 arrows, 13 stripes, the phoenix rising out of the ashes. That's a big one, though. The phoenix rising out of the ashes, because it's an occult symbol for death and resurrection. It's the same as the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail. All this is like a death and rebirth cycle thing that's an occult ritual. And so that was just something I noticed on the website. But this is what Genesis is. It's the U.S. government, through the Department of Energy and Central Government Data Apparatus, is launching a nationwide unified AI platform using federal data sets, supercomputers, national labs, research institutions, and private sector partners to accelerate scientific discovery. That's what they're saying, to accelerating discovery. We need that. Wow. The plan train powerful scientific foundation models, create AI agents that can test hypotheses, automate research workflows, simulate experiments, effectively letting AI direct and accelerate research in all major domains, energy, including nuclear and fusion, biotech, materials, quantum computing, microelectronics, manufacturing, the works. So I'm
Wow.
seeing nuclear, I'm
Putting it in
seeing
charge.
biotech,
Biotech.
biology, technology together, biotech. We're talking about Terminator right here.
Yeah.
Nuclear, biotech.
Putting it in charge. It says letting AI direct. Like that's putting it in charge, right?
Yes,
Letting it
sir.
direct those things. Wow.
Quantum computing. I'm not like some scientific genius, but I think quantum physics and quantum computing, you're talking about some weird like dimensional type stuff going on. Microelectronics, like smart dust and stuff like that. All right. The public rationale: solve the most challenging problems of this century, which they think is climate change and things like that. Boost U.S. scientific and technological dominance, secure energy dominance, strengthen national security, securing us in here like a prison. That's what national security is.
Yep.
And get maximum return on decades of R&D investment. Implementation roadmap: build the infrastructure, supercomputers, cloud-based AI compute, data access frameworks, secure environment, integrate data from federal labs plus academia plus industry, then deploy AI-based experimentation, automated labs, robotics, manufacturing, simulations. So all this sounds like, we're talking about AI, robots, biotech, nuclear, quantum computing, microelectronics. I mean, this is on every level like a sci-fi movie, right?
Yes. Stop Skynet, guys.
Yeah, it's completely Skynet.
Wow.
So since we're talking about Terminator, because it literally sounds like the plot of Terminator, there was a movie called Terminator. Look at this word. Terminator what? Terminator Genesis.
Ooh.
Look at the
With a Y,
phrase
though.
that they use. New mission, new fate. This is called Genesis Mission. I mean, is this a coincidence that the movie put a tagline?
Yeah.
This is, like I said, this is not coincidence. This is not an accident. This isn't even somebody just saying, well, what would be something cool to put on the poster? Let's pull it out of a hat. No, there's a lot of thought that goes into all this. New mission. And that's going to be our new fate. The mission is Genesis mission. What is the fate? AI technology, AI governance, total world control, robots, Cyberdyne, Skynet.
Got
I mean,
its
it's
one
crazy.
eye. One
What?
eye glow. It's got its one eye glowing. They got just the one eye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good catch.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even see that before. All of this is so symbolic, dude.
Coming out of the ashes.
So here's a scene from the movie, because Genesis is actually this operating system that everyone is excited about. And it's actually a Trojan horse for Skynet, because this is like the 5th movie, I think. Yes, the 5th movie. So they've already like traveled so much back in time through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they thought they defeated Skynet. But now in this timeline, there's a Genesis, and it's gonna, like, everybody's waiting for it. Like, oh man, this is gonna be amazing. What it does is it's gonna make all of our devices into one. It's singularity. We're gonna look into what singularity means, but and everybody's so excited about it because it's convenient, right? Now you get to, everything's on one device. It's like Google right now. Every time you want to log into a website, you don't have to sign up for a new thing. Just sign in with Google every time, right? It's convenient. So yeah, check out this clip. I'm going to turn it up so you guys can hear it.
Tomorrow, the waiting is over. When that countdown hits 0, Cyberdyne will revolutionize technology with the ultimate killer app, Genesis. And I'm here to tell you that our pre-orders as of this afternoon have reached 1 billion users. Yeah. We are creating the dawn of a new age, where every single piece of technology you own will be seamlessly linked.
Every piece of technology you own will be seamlessly linked.
Wow. The new age, they said.
Yeah, he said, this is a dawn of a new age. We're at the dawn of a new age. Why does that sound familiar? Why is that so significant? We're going to look at that. So basically, they're announcing that this technology is going to bring us into a new age, and it's going to make every single piece of your technology seamlessly linked together. Well, this year, back in January, Trump was talking about a golden age. He said the golden age of America begins right now. And here's a clip of him saying this.
The golden age of America begins right now.
All right, so the golden age. Now, he didn't say a new age, but these are like parallels to each other. Here he says it again, just to show you this, not a one-off.
This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
That's what we have tonight, the golden age. So I asked Google, is the golden age basically synonymous with the dawn of a new age? Because that's what that guy said on the movie, the dawn of a new age. It's saying that a golden age is a past or future era of historical perfection, prosperity, and harmony. It is the ideal benchmark. So that's what Trump's saying. He's promising an age of prosperity and perfection and harmony. That sounds like peace, right? Peace and safety and unity. It's like a dystopian world or a utopian world. The dawn of a new age is the beginning or transition point into a new era, often marked by significant change or a break from the past. All right. So in short, the dawn of a new age is the beginning of the period that strives to become or eventually is called the golden age.
Wow.
When I asked, is it synonymous? It said, yes. The term golden age is often conceptually connected with the dawn of a new age, particularly in prophetic, mythological, and philosophical contexts. A golden age can be seen as the fulfillment or realization of the new era's potential. So basically, when he says the golden age, he's saying that is the new age. The new age's goal is to be the golden age.
Yes.
So the movie is saying we're going into a new age, and Trump is telling you what that new age is. It's the golden age.
And that's their Genesis mission then. And I'm glad Mikey's seeing this, because just, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, we were talking about the new, let me pull it up real quick. The what the dollar bill, that Illuminati symbol that everybody is so familiar with, the pyramid with the eye and then Roman numerals at the bottom, 1776, just happens to be the same year the Illuminati formed. But the quote on the bottom is talking about the new order of the ages, right?
Wow.
That's what it's about, the new order of the ages. And it was taken from a poem, or borrowed from a poem, that concept that was straight out of Rome. And if you know anything about Roman history, it's so dark in the things they did. It's like a mix of Babylon and Egypt. And it's from a Cumaean prophecy, which is a Roman prophetess who would come in during times of chaos and use her false prophecies to help bring about order. And part of the poem here, and this ties in perfectly with what he's saying, this is where we get that quote, Novus Ordo Seclorum, like we saw on the bottom of the dollar, on every dollar bill. You have every little $1 bill. There's that pyramid with that quote. That's what it's about. And here is that quote, and it gets dark. It says, now is come let me see if I can find it. Here's a better one right here, because it has images. I want to put images with this so you can see how these things tie into recent modern day events. They say, now is come, make it bigger so you can see it, the last age of the Cumaean prophecy, which is that Roman prophetess, her prophecies. The great cycle of ages is born. So plural, ages is born anew. Now returns the maid, returns the reign of Saturn. Now from high heaven, a new generation comes down. Reminds me of the fallen, when they come down and make their pact. Yet do thou at that boy's birth, in whom the iron age shall begin to cease, and the golden to arise over all the world. And then they say Holy Lucina. And you remember, these are figures that are often given different names in different times. This is Artemis, who's also referred to as Athena in Greece. And so you have them saying, let this person be gracious. Now thine own Apollo reigns. And that's where we see when they were lying about the firmament, trying to erase it from our memories, they pretended to go to the moon using a Saturn rocket under what they called the Apollo missions, which is a sun god when they're going to the moon. And the eagle landing, it's an eagle holding a branch, just like we saw with that other symbolism that they used. And so it's really dark. And just today, I was looking into Saturnalia because it's that time of year. It's around the middle of December when they were honoring Saturn, this deity, the same one that they're trying to bring about this new age for. And this was where a lot of, traditions were borrowed and mixed in Rome to come about with certain traditions that made no sense, when we were growing up with Christmas and stuff. But it says, this is just according to Google, that they didn't say this, but I say it, the false god Saturn was honored during Saturnalia. That was their festival. This was a joyous ancient Roman festival honoring Saturn, the god of agriculture. And they celebrated it in mid-December, 17th to the 23rd, marked by feasting, gift-giving, things like candle and clay figures, iron and clay. I'm going to make some clay figures. And a temporary suspension of normal rules. You're going to get rid of the laws, your normal rules, including role reversals where masters serve slaves, all embodying a nostalgic golden age. The golden age of peace with its customs influencing later Christmas traditions. This is Google telling us this stuff.
Wait, how do you have an age of peace with no rules?
Exactly. They're trying to bring it back. And what they're trying to bring back, though, it says Saturnalia was the Roman equivalent to the earlier Greek holiday of Chronia, which held the theological importance for some Romans who saw it as a restoration of the ancient, because they're calling it new.
Ooh.
It's the restoration of the ancient golden age when the world was ruled by Satan or Saturn. And so it is dark. And yeah, it is so dark. And it's why we're seeing the deceptions we've seen. And it's why we're seeing the deceptions we're about to see here with the so-called, oops, there it is.
That was great addition to this, because we did a video about Trump when he got inaugurated. He was inaugurated inside of a building, which is unusual. Usually they get inaugurated outside. They blamed it on the rain or something. I don't know if it was raining, but that's what I was told. But when he got inaugurated, it was inside. And when you look up on the ceiling of where he got inaugurated, you see George Washington painted wearing a purple sash or purple blanket over his lap or something. He's in clouds with angels and stuff up there. And the plaque is called the Apotheosis of George Washington. You look at, what does that word mean, apotheosis, and it means to make one God. That's right in your face. We thought, yeah. So we did a video on that. He got inaugurated. Basically, he was being going through a ritual to make him like God, and his wife was wearing this big Saturn hat that was obvious. I mean, it's so hot. The whole thing was black with a huge round rim, and she was, hiding her face with it and stuff. All of it was purposeful, man. Before I even saw what you're talking about only adds to the validity of what we were saying back then, that this is initiating us into the age of Saturn, and how he keeps talking about a golden age, and he's being inaugurated under this apotheosis thing. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah. And just real quick, because we're talking about Saturn like that, I don't like even mentioning their names. But when you think about the Nephilim, what they were doing to all flesh, it matches what you see in their old paintings of this figure. They turned on mankind. It's dark stuff to even look at for just a second. So I'll take that down. But that's who they serve. That's why they made sacrifices of people to this figure. They're trying to bring back, and they still do it to this very day. They're wanting to usher in this ancient golden age. They're calling this new era, era of the ages, new golden age. It's got all these different terms, but that's what they're trying to bring back. And that's why we're seeing the days of Noah, like our Messiah said, would come back in these last days. And they're now making human animal chimeras. It's legal. Like if it's not possible, why make it illegal? Now they're doing it. It is legal.
Wow.
Yeah, dark stuff.
Yeah, the last golden age that I'm aware of, when you look it up, is Atlantis, before it sunk or whatever. That was a golden age, and it was like this crazy perfect utopia with technology and all this stuff. So I asked Google, what do these occultists believe about the golden age, that term? I asked, what does Alice Bailey say? What does Helena Blavatsky say? And what does Aleister Crowley say? Coincidentally, they all talk about the golden age, and it all means the same thing to each of them. And it says, according to Alice Bailey, the golden age is a future period characterized by the externalization of the hierarchy, where spiritual leaders or hierarchy would become outwardly visible to humanity after 2025. This event would coincide with a new era of human evolution, ushering in a new world order based on principles of goodwill, unity, and spiritual understanding. So this is all about us being forged into a new golden age where spiritual beings are living among us in the physical realm. And what do we see on the news all the time? What do we hear? These military people at the U.S. congressional hearings, and they're saying, yeah, we see things all the time. We don't know what they are. They're not our technology. It's not their technology. Actually, we communicate with non-human intelligences. Are they alien? We don't know if they're alien. They could be interdimensional beings. The military's elite people who rule the world are telling us we communicate with interdimensional beings. Let that sink in. This is the externalization of the hierarchy right now. And it says this is what she predicted. And I think that this is not just her own prediction. I think that Satan was literally telling her his prophecy for the world. And so we're living in this time of this externalization of the hierarchy. They're talking about golden age.
When was that, Alice Bailey? When was she saying these things?
1800s or early 1900s. Yeah, super long ago.
2025 being significant, because I just heard that in a song. I forget who the singer was, but saying 2025 is basically significant.
Really? See, about a year now I've been saying that I think that 2025 is the beginning of the end. And dude, think about how many things have happened in 2025. We're talking about AI governance. He's telling us the golden age. There's all this Saturn stuff. We're seeing the military say that we talk to extraterrestrials. There's drones everywhere, but it's okay. Don't worry about them. And nobody even talks about it now. But for weeks, there were drones in different parts of the city, different cities of America, and even other parts of the world. And they're like, we don't know what they are, but it's okay. They seem nice. Just keep on shopping. And then nobody talks about it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the type of stuff that's going on. And now they eliminated the penny, which might sound kind of small in the big scheme of things, but they're eliminating physical cash.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
That's right. Helena Blavatsky said that the golden age is a future era, also called the age of Maitreya, which is the new age, that will follow the current Kali Yuga, the dark age, and be characterized by spiritual and intellectual awakening, peace, and harmony. Again, this is all about this spiritual awakening that's going to create peace and harmony. It will be a time of greater spiritual intelligence and a reemergence of profound esoteric knowledge.
She looks like Aleister Crowley. That's creepy. She even looks like his relative.
Yeah. Wow, she is. This age is not a return to a primitive past, but a future evolution towards a more spiritually conscious civilization. And, she has all these same common characteristics as what Alice Bailey said. It's a spiritual awakening. It's harmony and peace. It's a reemergence of knowledge, which now we have AI, and this knowledge, we don't even know where it's coming from anymore. Spiritual evolution, and a connection to the age of Aquarius, because the age of Aquarius is the new age. It's the golden age. And it's always been predicted to be sometime in the 2000s.
Yes, the age of Aquarius. I remember hearing about that in a song.
Yep, the age of Aquarius. So Aleister Crowley coincidentally talked about the Golden Age as well, and he said it refers to his early association with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, a late 19th century magical society focused on Hermeticism, and later his own mystical system of Thelema. While Golden Dawn was the name of the order, Crowley's concept of Golden Age also points to a future spiritual utopia, again, the culmination of his philosophy of achieving personal fulfillment through the pursuit of one's true will and the great work. I think this great work thing
Not
is
our Father's
interesting
will.
too.
Yeah, their will. Yeah, they said not one's true will, not the Father's will. He wants you to do as you will, not as
Right.
He wills us to do.
Exactly. But here again, it's talking about this spiritual utopia, and this great work thing I think is interesting because we kept hearing that with the Pope. We'd hear about the greater good and all this stuff. And it says the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Crowley was a member of the influential British occult society, which focused on Renaissance magic, Kabbalah, astrology, and tarot. His time in the order, though relatively brief, shaped his early magical development. Thelema and the Great Work. After leaving the Golden Dawn, Crowley developed his own religion, Thelema, which he saw as a path to a new spiritual era. He believed that the Golden Age would be a period when humanity fully embraced the principles of Thelema. So we got Trump saying, we're going into the Golden Age. We're going to embrace Aleister Crowley's religion. It's going to be great. It's going to be a spiritual awakening, peace and harmony.
Wow. And it said terror in the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. That's where tarot cards came from.
Really?
Those demonic summoning cards. Yeah, it says the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. It says Kabbalah, astrology, and terror. I believe. I could be wrong, but I remember someone I had that was a friend of my wife had called us because they said, would you come and pray at somebody's house, their son's house or something? They said there's demonic stuff happening because the daughter-in-law was using tarot cards in the house and there's stuff getting knocked off the walls and flying off of shelves. Wow. And I'm like, I don't mind going and praying if they're going to burn all that crap and be done with it, but I don't know their heart. I don't know if they're ready to be done with all that and see what it has done to them. Now they're being tormented. And I was conflicted about it. And finally, they just said, they called back and said, don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. They said, don't worry about it. I don't know what inspired them to do that or what changed, but yeah, that stuff led me into looking into what that is because my students, I had a student bring tarot cards into my classroom and tried to read them to children. And I said, no, get those out of my room. And she's like, what? They're doing it now on TikTok. Like it was a big thing. There were live tarot card readings on TikTok, you know?
Yeah. Witch talk.
Yeah, that stuff it's so dark and they don't realize this is where it comes from, Satanist. Yeah. And it's used to look like, oh, it's good magic. It's good stuff. It's stuff that our Father told us stay away from. And there's a reason, because there's powers of darkness trying to creep in and corrupt his children. And that's, I'm glad you brought this stuff up because people need to see this is where this dark stuff comes from.
Satanism. I had my tarot read twice in my life and the old me, and it was creepily on point. Like, you know, I know the vagueness of like a fortune cookie or something. This was like, I'd never been in trouble in my whole life. And at the time it was being done, I got in trouble for smoking weed at school. The first time I ever got in trouble ever, high school, and I was on probation, but I knew I was going to get off. It was 2 years probation, but I knew I was going to get off in 6 months good behavior because I was doing everything I was supposed to do. And when I had it read, it said, you're in legal trouble, but you'll get out of it sooner than expected or something. I was like, dude, that's crazy. If you would have done this to me a year ago, I would have laughed because I'd never been in legal trouble in my life. And it's crazy. There really is power in it because demons have power. And when Satan reveals something like that to you, it convinces you this is real. And now you dedicate your life to his work and you believe in these satanic things. So this term singularity, I don't know if I actually define it. I hope I do. But, you know, he was saying in this clip that every single piece of technology will be seamlessly linked. that by definition is a singularity movement. I hope I didn't skip something. Okay. When you look at what singularity is, it's the merging of humanity with the internet, basically, where to the point where you can't escape. You can't even tell what's. I'm going to get into it. I think I have the definition. I added this though because this was important. This was talking about that Stargate system. If you look at our videos like a year ago, you're going to see where Trump interviewed these guys. He put them on. He walked them out to the podium, and they were talking about this system called Stargate that was an AI full governance surveillance thing. And the owner, or the creator, Larry Ellison, said omnipresent AI cameras will ensure good behavior. So he's saying that when you have AI watching everything, every corner, every device, look, I'm talking about everything you own, everything. You want to go to that website you're not supposed to go to, you're going to be seen. Everything's being watched.
Wow.
And Larry Ellison predicts rise of modern surveillance state where citizens will be on their best behavior. He's all for this. He's creating this stuff. By the way, his company is called Oracle, which is an occult prophet.
Yes. Wow.
Here's a clip of him saying that people will be on their best behavior.
The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording, watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. All right, I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation had occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras. It's AI that's looking at the camera. No. You can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be immediately, that's going to be an event that's immediately, an alarm is going to go off. It's going to be, and we're going to have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised at all times. And the supervision will, and if there's a problem, AI will report the problem and report it to the appropriate person, whether it's the sheriff or the chief or whomever we need to take control of the situation. We have, same thing. We have drones. We just, if there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop, a drone goes out there, get there way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And
what's it going to do?
Generation of autonomous drones.
Yeah, so everything is going smart. We got smart meters, smart cars, smart refrigerators. Everything is smart. Everything's tapped in. And I noticed back in like 2012, these strange white canister things that were being put on like every so many power poles, or like cell towers or whatever. Yeah, they were power poles. And I looked it up, like, what is this thing? And it was talking about internet or something. Still to this day, or how many years later, 15 years later or something, there's still not like free Wi-Fi out there, but it is being put up. This whole infrastructure is being built right now. I believe that those things will come into play for this whole singularity thing, where everything, every device you own, we know without a shadow of a doubt, we know for 100% that these things listen to us all the time. And I believe watch us. They, you've seen the Dateline and the NBC and all that, and they're proving that the iPhone takes a picture of your face every 10 seconds or whatever. You can watch it with the infrared camera. It flashes and takes a picture. And Apple's like, well, yeah, it does, but that's because it's got the option to unlock your phone with your face. And what if you grow a beard? Well, iPhone needs to take a picture of you constantly because your face is changing. So they come up with any excuse to make you comfortable with you're having a picture taken every few seconds. And I know for a fact these things are listening because I don't even search for something. I literally say it, and next time I'm scrolling on Facebook, there's an ad for it. So
Yep.
without a shadow of doubt, these things are listening to everything we do. And when you have this singularity, AI, Stargate, Genesis mission thing going on, like what this guy is saying, everything's tapped in. You're driving your smart car and you go 5 over the speed limit. Well, it's deducted out of your bank account. You don't have to deal with the cop. It's automatically that. You don't even get to go to court. You don't get to fight it or say, I was passing somebody or whatever. It's just deducted. And he said, an altercation happens. So you raise your voice, the phone hears it. You don't have to be around some security camera. There's phones, there's smart TVs, everything is microphone and listening. So, you start having an argument with your wife or something, and 20 minutes, the cop's knocking on your door because, well, we were notified something's going on. This is the world we're going into. Some Minority Report where I believe there'll be pre-crime stuff as well. Like, well, AI analyzed all your social media, and it analyzed that in the future you're going to be one of those extremists. So we're not going to take any, we're not going to take any risks. We're going to lock you up because you're a threat to society in the future. You will be, even if you don't seem like it now. You seem like a cool guy. You homeschool your kids. You believe the book of Revelation is like a literal thing, and you make posts that seem anti-government. So yeah, we need to just remove you from society.
Yeah, that's what they're doing in China, and I'm sure other places. I know now they're rolling out the digital currency in the UK, and the UK is where we got all of our information from for evolution, old Earth lie, and all those things came from the secret royal societies, and it spread worldwide.
Wow.
The UK was once a province of Rome before it was the United Kingdom. And where did we come from? The United Kingdom. That's where we came from. We had to then fight them, allegedly. I don't think there was ever a power struggle there. Just it all was in place, and now we're taxed way more than we were before the Boston Tea Party. It's the same powers of Rome that have just spread over here. That's why they have the capital. The capital is based on Capitoline Hill, which in Rome was Jupiter's Hill. It was called Capitoline Hill. Whoa. And so they brought that Roman Jupiter worship over here, as well as their Saturn worship and Apollo worship and all that. But that's literally what the Capitol Hill is named after, is Jupiter's Hill. And Jupiter's name was Yahweh, not Yahweh, but Yahweh.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's dark, and that's why they brought that over. Every state in the country has a Capitol building, and they all look very similar to Jupiter's Hill, the original Capitol building.
Got that dome and everything
back in Rome. It all looks the same. So yeah, it is an ultimate merger, all this stuff. And they were surveillancing people back in Rome back then. And that was a big deal with them. They were collecting data on people. And you think, well, they didn't have internet. No, they were collecting information on everybody, trying to find out who the Judaizers were that were keeping Sabbath, who the Christian, who these people were.
These and stuff,
Yeah, it's coming back to where they are. They were cutting people off of society, and talking about watching. People will be better if they know they're being watched. As believers, we know our Father is keeping record. We're going to be judged. That's why we are being righteous. I'm not being righteous because AI is watching me. I'm not being loyal to my wife and my mind because I know that AI is watching me. I know that the Father knows my heart. That's even, so like but they're going to try to make it look like this is what we need for us to be good people. Reminds me of I think even the Santa Claus songs were predictive programming, finding out who's naughty or nice, has their list, checking it twice. Santa Claus.
Well, you see where this is, heading into the golden age that Alice Bailey, Helena Blavatsky, and Aleister Crowley talked about, this spiritual utopia of peace and everything. There's going to be peace when AI is watching every move you make.
Yeah.
The eye in the sky. So here's a video clip of Elon. This was probably a year or longer ago that he did this. And he was talking about how AI is going to take over so many jobs that we got to come up with a new form of currency. And you're not going to work for it. It's just going to be like a universal basic income. But I think it's going to be the social credit system. I think when you obey and you do the right thing, your credit score goes up and you can buy groceries and you can pay for your utilities. But When you start doing things you're not supposed to, you're watching flat earth videos and you're taking pictures of chemtrails and things like that, your credit score is going to go down. But you know what? If you just go to the universal church, the one world religion of coexist and tolerance and acceptance, and it really teaches you to be a good person. If you would just go there once a week, you wouldn't have to worry about anything. You could pay for all your bills. I think it's ultimately going to go to the one world religion that's going to be pushed, the mark of the beast, how they worship the beast and his image.
Wow.
Here's what he's talking about, though.
But what to do about mass unemployment? This is going to be a massive social challenge. There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better. And I think ultimately we will have to have some kind of universal basic income. I don't think we're going to have a choice. The harder challenge, much harder challenge, is how do people then have meaning? Like a lot of people, they derive their meaning from their employment. If you're not needed, if there's not a need for your labor, what's the meaning? Do you have meaning? Do you feel useless?
So he's saying it's basically going to be like WALL-E, like robots going to do everything. And it sounds far-fetched when you listen to this because you're like, a robot can never do it, my job or whatever. But think about how many jobs are already being taken by AI. Musicians, whether that's, just making music itself or singing and all that. Musicians' jobs are getting taken. Translators' jobs are getting taken. Dubbing. We got self-driving cars now. So Uber's, taxi, all this stuff's going to be taken. We already check out our own groceries at Walmart. And this is just like some of the basic stuff. There's other things too that business owners and stuff, they used to pay for an accountant. Well, you don't need that anymore. I just throw everything in ChatGPT to give it right to me, right? So all these little jobs are being taken by AI, and eventually people are going to start panicking because it's going to be like the next depression. And what happened back then? They created the Social Security number. Social Security, that was it's a voluntary thing. We don't realize that, but as the system was created at in the Great Depression, when you wanted your soup or whatever, you want to eat today, you just sign up for the Social Security card. No big deal. You just stand in line and get your soup. That's how they started that whole thing. And so it'll be the same thing with this. AI will take so many jobs that will be so desperate to be able to pay for our bills and eat. They'll say, well, just get the universal basic income. Well, how do I get that? You just got to get a real ID or a digital ID or whatever. It syncs everything you have. You're going to have to conform to the system because you and your family don't eat otherwise.
Wow.
Because your job has been taken by AI.
Yeah, and that's how it's already at, like fast food. If you ever go in there now, if we're desperate or on a road trip and you stop at a fast food place, you don't talk to a person. You just go to a computer screen. You know, it's a matter of time before those people cooking, or you're not going to real people. You can't be like, hey, you messed up my order. It's like, darn robots.
Even the drive-through. Yeah, I've seen in
robots.
other, like in California and stuff, the drive-through, you just talk to it and it's like AI. You say, I want, this many tacos or whatever. It's all AI. It's not even a person. And they got robots delivering your food on the street. They got cars. They got literally self-driving cars that are delivering pizzas to people's houses already.
Wow. And all this talk about AI, someone said, that's taking their jobs, it's taking everything. Think about the people of Israel going into the promised land in the Battle of Jericho. What was the first time that the people of Israel started losing and having casualties? It wasn't with the Red Sea crossing. It was when they were trying to battle AI.
That's crazy.
You remember? They were trying to battle one of their own.
King AI or something?
Yeah. Achan was one of the people from the tribes of Judah, or the tribe of Judah. And as he's going through the ruins of Jericho, because the walls have come down, there's ruins here. They were told by Joshua, don't take anything, like that's, and keep it to yourself. Basically, the gold and the silver is to be used in the temple. We're going to melt it down. They're going to take it. They're going to transform it. They're going to erase any remnants of Babylonian imagery, because all the coins would have probably had the sun gods and things on it that we're talking about now, these deities from their golden age. And so they were told not to do that. But Achan, he says, when he finally confesses, because the soldiers of Israel, when they were going up against AI, they were losing people, and that's something that didn't happen. They were now having casualties, and it really grieved Joshua. And so Joshua is now trying to find out, why is this happening? Who has done an accursed thing? Because they called the things of that land accursed. And if you take it, you're basically taking on this curse. It's going to affect people around you. And I'm sure he saw it at that time. That guy, he says, I coveted these things. I saw he called it a Babylonish garment and some silver and some gold. And he coveted those things. And so in his mind, he's like, well, probably justifying, it's not idol worship. It just a Babylonish type of garment. And I'm just going to keep it and put it in my tent and then have some wealth, stored for later. But that stuff had to be burned along with him. He was punished for that. Whoa. And so I wonder if that ties into why they're calling this stuff AI now. Like the people are supposed to break away from these Babylonian things completely and don't think, well, I can be a little bit in Babylon and still be okay. Kind of like Acon, if that's how you say his name, Akan or Acon, I don't know how you say it. But that guy, he caused other people to die around him because of something he thought was okay. But it was a sin against the Most High. That stuff was to be used for a greater purpose in the temple, not kept in its original form, brought into your house, because then people are going to sin on account of these things eventually. And so our Father sees everything. This was before AI, was invented. Like he saw it. That's why these people didn't have that hedge of protection that they once had. So we have to be real careful in these days with what we're being called out of Babylon, honestly, so it's like, don't go back to those ways as much as it seems tempting, or harmless. Step away from those old traditions,
This is a news clip about that social credit, if nobody's ever heard of it. I'm not gonna play the whole clip, but I wanted to show. Yeah, listen to this.
How she behaves is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Howyu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
It's a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen.
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands, and ultimately controls its 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras.
Are people bothered by privacy concerns?
We think the lot of camera keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Joe Aini are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Huang Huijun lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools. The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it. Something that may.
Do you see that in the top corner?
Top right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude.
Skynet.
So if you're not a fan of Terminator like I used to be, Skynet is the AI total worldwide governance. It's total worldwide AI governance. It's not just fiction anymore. It's literally real life. And I'm just mind blown when I watch this. Like people, they eliminated money. Now it's like, in order to get money, you have to do good things, good deeds, like work without pay or, help a drunk person, but you can be docked for things like gossip, littering.
That's crazy. And it's a country that outlaws Christianity. You know, you have to go to these underground churches, but they let them celebrate dragons every year. You know, like they have dragon ceremonies, and the dragon's like this red dragon kind of parading around. Like, why allow that if you're against all biblical stuff? No, just the dragon part. You can keep that.
Yeah. So think
Ignore the
about
Messiah part.
what would they consider gossip? You know, like
Talking about
who the beast is of Revelation or something, or calling out hypocritical systems like the Catholic Church and things like that. Oh man, you better not speak bad against them. You're going to get a bad credit score. You're not going to be able to buy groceries this month.
Jeez.
Or talking against, saying that certain minority lifestyles are a sin. Ooh, you're going to get docked big time. You can't speak the truth of the Bible because that's considered hate speech. That's where all this hate speech, hate crime stuff came from.
Oh, that's
when
true.
we first started hearing about it, like 15 years ago or something, it sounded good. Like, yeah, people shouldn't bully people. That's a good thing. And then you realize you're not allowed to speak truth. It's a hate speech. It's hate crime. I had a video on my channel that wasn't listed. It was unlisted, but it was breaking down anomalies in the 9/11 event, showing that that the planes were superimposed, and it was 100% proven. I mean, you can reverse engineer the footage and stabilize it, and you see that the planes bounce around like this and stuff. It's 100% proof. All I'm doing is analyzing a historical event. But that video that was unlisted was removed for hate speech.
Wow.
I mean, if we were under this system right now, I probably wouldn't be able to I probably wouldn't be able to pay my bills this month because of that.
Oh yeah, I know. They've cut me off. I didn't even qualify for their little YouTube plaque because of my hate speech. And they said it wasn't even like hate speech. It was like not suitable for advertisers, which meant that, and when you go back and look at those videos, it was biblical videos. It wasn't me, spreading hate. Everything was about love. And when I had my videos, it was never about hate. Even when I was tearing apart the NASA stuff, I wasn't like, now go make fun of these people and call them globetards. It was like very in a loving way, and still not suitable for advertisers is what it was. I was told was my reason for not getting the plaque. Not that I want their little.
So it's not really about getting 100,000 subs. It's about, can we make money off of you?
Yeah.
Because if you're not monetized or you're not suitable for most advertisers, you're not making us money. Why are we going to send you a plaque?
Yeah. You're going
By
against
the way,
that.
we were rejected twice for monetization over there. So I'm not going to get a plaque either if we ever get to 100,000 subs. And it's just crazy. I think that our videos don't get put out in the algorithm either, because why is YouTube going to promote your video? We don't make money off you.
Yeah. And it's interesting that means you're on a list. I'm on a list. You can't monetize because you're on their list. They see, I don't know what they see on their end, but it's not, oh, look, here's Mikey with his good social score.
Exactly.
These people are speaking against the establishment that we serve. And we're blessed to still be here. I mean, some of the stuff you guys talk about, I'm like, man, ooh, they're going to get canned. And then you're still there. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Because right now there's freedom of speech. So they know they can't really do it, but they can do other things. They can shadow ban you and not monetize you and discourage you enough to where, think about if this is like us, we stepped out in faith, and thank God that we have people that support us through donations because we're not monetized. And so YouTube, if they want to say, well, we'll shut them up, we won't let them get paid.
Yeah.
They'll eventually quit, right? They got to have a job and all this stuff. They'll do everything they can legally at this moment in time, but pretty soon, I think even when the Charlie Kirk thing happened and people were losing their jobs for simply posting something negative about what happened, I don't agree with, mocking the death of somebody or something. I question the whole event, but people lost their jobs for simply making a social media post. That's where now they got the left and the right on board with eliminating freedom of speech. And that's what they're trying to do. Satan is at the top. Everybody else is pawns and puppets in this game, but he is trying to create his kingdom, his satanic kingdom, and he has to play both sides because he's got to get the mindset of the left and the right. So, the right was all like, no, freedom of speech. We say whatever we want to. There's only two genders and all this. And then all of a sudden their guy gets assassinated. And now they're like, they were openly saying, like the right-wing people were saying, if you see anybody say anything bad about Charlie Kirk, tell their boss. I mean, now they want you to be punished for freedom of speech. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
The same people that were saying, no, we want freedom of speech and we'll stand for it, are now saying, we want you to lose your job for freedom of speech.
Yes.
Crazy, dude.
And you said you guys weren't able to monetize, and there's people that are demonetized, and I think that's interesting that demonetize begins with demon.
No,
demon.
I didn't even think about that.
Demonetize.
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh, this slide got switched around when I added those clips, but this is I asked Google, is Genesis mission going to push us into singularity? And I love its answer. And remember, Google's always going to give you the least conspiratorial answer. It's going to be the cleanest, most polished thing. It's anything. It was 9/11 inside job. No way. Blah blah blah. I probably shouldn't even say these words on here, but okay. So the recently launched U.S. government's Genesis mission aims to accelerate AI-driven scientific discovery, which could indirectly contribute to the rapid technological progress that some associate with the idea of technological singularity. See how they're wording it? It's all like, well, some people think singularity is a bad thing, and this isn't the goal of a Genesis mission, but it could indirectly kind of push us that way. That's crazy. But the mission's stated goals are focused on specific national priorities, not the singularity itself. Wow. The technological singularity is a hypothetical future point at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unfathomable changes to human civilization, often linked to the creation of superintelligence. The Genesis mission is not explicitly designed to cause this event, but rather to serve as an engine for discovery, that doubles R&D productivity within a decade. Then it said the conclusion, while the mission's official documents do not use the term singularity, some external commentators have noted that this significant acceleration of AI capabilities could be seen as a step on the path towards such a future, or at least a reflection of the human sprint towards the singularity. The core aim, however, is to leverage AI for practical, strategic, national advantages. Come on, guys. So, I mean, this is literally the movie. Literally the movie that launched Genesis. The mission was to bring about a singularity. All your devices into one system and to bring about a new golden era.
Wow.
This is the logo for Genesis mission. It's a short commercial, I think, is what this is. No, okay, I don't know if the commercial's in there, but that's the logo for Genesis mission. And I was looking at it, I was like, is that 3 6s? I was like, oh no, that's like 2 6s.
Kind of looks like that, or like some sort of eclipse or Saturn or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be like a little antenna and those are waves coming out or whatever.
Ooh,
but I clearly see 2 crescent moons there. So I asked Google, again, they're the least conspiratorial answer. And it says, yes, the crescent moon is strongly linked to the idea of a new age, representing new beginnings, change, hope, and the start of a new cycle. This symbolism comes from the moon's waxing phase where it grows from darkness into light, signifying the emergence of a new beginning after a period of darkness or an ending. Now, what we just read from Helena Blavatsky, Alice Bailey, Aleister Crowley, they were saying that we're going into a new age of enlightenment after a dark period. And look, you look at the logo, like it literally looks like I copied and pasted that picture, but that's the picture that Google gave me. It had no reference to this symbol. I just asked, does a crescent moon have any connection to, a new age? And it was like, yes. And this is the answer it gave me. So even the logo for a program called Genesis, which means the beginning, is about bringing about a new beginning, a new age. It's crazy. Flip to
The new age. Yeah. I was telling me and Mikey, we were talking before this started, and all this talk of the new age reminded me. I got the song in my head from Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah.
You know, what was it? Welcome to the New Age. Is that what is that song called?
I thought that was
Radioactive. Radioactive. There it
Oh.
is. Radioactive. And if you look at these things from the lens of it's dark, you know, like they were inspired by unclean spirits. You know, I'm not going to say
yeah.
they actually were, but when you read the lyrics, just reading them without the music that gets you in this mood of like, oh wow, this sounds good. It talks about the same type of new age stuff, the ancient age, new golden era stuff. It says, I'm waking up to ash and dust. I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. Remember iron and clay. Iron is going to rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. Remember, the fallen are going to be, some of them are going to be let loose, right? With the seals. This is it. The
Satan is
apocalypse.
going to be in prison for 1,000 years.
Yes.
This is the word
checking out of the prison bus. This is the apocalypse. I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age. And then that's it. That's pretty much the song. Welcoming people to
so
new age.
It's literally the words of Satan, because he's talking about, I wake up to fire and ash and I'm let out of my prison.
Sweating rust.
Hey, this is the new age now. I think it's interesting that you're talking about music, because every time I open up Google on my phone, it shows like kind of these suggested articles underneath it. And every time it's 3i Atlas and the Pope, every time the 2 news articles, but Vatican News. But this is what Pope Leo said as of today. I guess this article is new. It says, Pope Leo, music is like a bridge that leads us to God. And I'm just thinking, you know, when this whole new world order system comes and the beast system and all that, it's going to be like Babylon. It's going to be the Babylon system that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. At the sound of the music, you must bow to the image. And that's what the Pope here, which I believe is, he's the head of the beast system, Rome, Babylon, the papacy, the Vatican, all that stuff. He's the one that's saying music is like music is a path to God or something. Yeah. Music is like a bridge that leads us to God.
Yeah, they're God. My goodness, that is, yeah. That's what all the music is about that they play on the radio, is leading you to pride. And I remember feeling prideful as a young child listening to songs on the radio. I'd go from this humble little child to hearing this stuff, and I'm like, I'm the man. This is about me. You know, there's always like, it puts you in this like prideful mindset. And I was telling my son that because he was listening to all these different, branching out, listening to other music. And I said, be careful, because you'll notice. He says, yeah, it makes me feel different. I said, does it make you feel prideful? He's like, yeah. He was like, it does. It makes you feel prideful. And the greatest in the kingdom are humble. And all these songs are about us and how good we are. Even a lot of Christian songs are about our righteousness and how good we are and what we do. And it's like never really praising directly to him.
Right. Yeah. My testimony is about me coming out of becoming a rapper, and I was doing a lot of rap shows and stuff. And I had a whole persona. Like when I never performed sober, of course. I was always high and drunk, and I turned into Captain Hook. That was me. I was my rap name. And when I was Captain Hook, there were no rules. And you know, after every show, I was taking some girl home or something, and it was like, you just become the man, because you rap these lyrics and you take on that persona. It's just like Beyonce, Sasha Fierce, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
This waxing moon thing, it went on to say more about what it meant, but I thought it was interesting that it talks about feminine energy, because we're always talking about this stuff now. When Katy Perry went on that rocket and stuff, she's like, you know, it's just all about divine feminine and all that stuff. And we're always hearing about this divine feminine energy. And Chris Bledsoe, that Christian guy who had the alien encounter, and he says that they're good angels because they healed him. he sees a physical manifestation of this, the lady, he calls her. Her name's Hathor, an Egyptian goddess
Ooh,
who
that's
he
dark.
says is the Holy Spirit. But
That's in Egypt. Yeah, that is in DC as well. And they have an Egyptian temple in DC that has Hathor all over it. Wow.
whoa, I need to check
That
that
is
out.
dark.
I didn't know that. So this is a map that was on NBC News. This is a map of where all the laboratories are that this Genesis mission is connected to right now. I keep wanting to say that it will be connected to, but it's already here. Genesis mission is here as of the 24th. And all these laboratories are either nuclear or particle accelerators or have to do with surveillance AI. So you're literally talking about the Terminator movie when you say nuclear, Judgment Day. That's what the movie was all about, was that AI was governing the world and it started analyzing and saying, oh, all the problems on the world are caused by this race, people. Animals aren't causing the problems of the world. It's the people. So in order to fix the world, I need to annihilate the people. And so AI made the decision to launch all the nukes at once and destroy humanity. And that was called Judgment Day because AI made a judgment. And all these movies are called, Judgment Day, Genesis, Salvation. They all have the name of these biblical titles. Particle accelerators, that's like CERN. It's not even like a conspiracy theory. People are literally concerned about CERN because weird things happen when they turn this thing on, supernatural things, and they think it's opening up portals for demonic entities to come into our world. And when you're calling this AI surveillance Stargate, well, the Bible refers to angels, fallen and unfallen, stars. We're making a gate for stars to come in. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, the fallen were looked at as stars, and in the book of Enoch, they were referred to in his vision, anyways. About stars. They were falling down, becoming, taking on the daughters of men, and they produced 3 races of giants, and it refers to those 3 races as. It breaks it in. It's a vision. It's not real, but elephants, camels,
Oh,
and donkeys. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting because our first ever political symbols were elephants and donkeys, like we still have now, and there was a camel. It was the Prohibition Party. So yeah, these things are
that is
dark.
wild, bro.
They became demons eventually. So now we're using their symbols that represented them in that book, which is, I don't think it's a coincidence.
No, it's not. So the grid is being activated now. Like I said, they've been doing this stuff for years, but erecting these huge towers that they say are cell phone towers, but they're Gwyn towers. I remember I saw that happening in 2005. I remember I was working at Smoky Bones and I saw these huge, cylindrical metal towers being erected, and my cell phone worked just fine back then. But apparently these are cell towers, but they're Gwyn towers. And then they started putting these white canisters, cylindrical canisters on, every so many power poles. I still don't know what those do, but it's a grid. It's all being set up. And the Genesis mission links all these laboratories, the nuclear, the AI, the CERN accelerator stuff. It's linking all that together. This is a singularity of the most scariest things: AI governance, nuclear, CERN. I mean, that's terrifying. ESNet, their Energy Science Network, is the data backbone for this whole thing. And when you add AI models and robotics and sensors, you get autonomous experimentation. Like, we don't even know what's going to happen. This is a huge experiment that we're just like, let's just do it. They're already telling us that we don't know what AI really is. We don't know how it's evolving or where it's going to go. So let's let it govern us.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
So when you add Stargate AI surveillance layers, you get you've got a system that watches, predicts, controls, and possibly channels spiritual entities. This is a system that's, like I said, it's like pre-crime. It's going to predict people that are unfit for society. And who makes the decision? AI.
We're trusting it so much now. People are trusting it for so many things. It's where they're putting their trust. Oh, it said this person did this crime. Okay.
Mm,
Like it's actually telling on people, like
yeah,
AI is, and getting people in trouble for things. And I'm like, how do we know that some programmer didn't get it to do that and say that? Oh no, we trust it. Why would it lie? You know, creepy.
man. So yeah, this is all about control through surveillance, judgment through AI, because AI is going to be the judge. And the only way to have salvation in a system like this is to bow to the beast system. That's the only way, because otherwise you're going to be beheaded. That's what Revelation says. It says you will bow to the system, but it's going to be an incremental progression. It's going to be, at first it's going to be like, oh, it's just convenient. You know, it's like, don't you want to get this app? It just makes life easier. Like nobody takes cash anymore. And eventually you're just going to have to bow to this system. And it's going to be like, if you would just go to the universal church that makes everybody good, you could pay all your bills. And then it's going to be like, look, if you don't do it, we're going to imprison you because you are a threat to society. You're a hater. And then it's going to be like, well, we're just going to behead you because we don't want to pay for you to sit in a jail cell and you're not going to change your mind. And that's what Revelation says. You won't be able to buy or sell. You'll be thrown in prison 10 days and you'll be beheaded. That's what's going to happen when you don't worship according to the beast system. James Cameron, he is the guy who made Terminator movie. And he also made a movie called Avatar, which was the highest grossing movie of all time. And I asked, did James Cameron get the idea for Avatar in a dream? And it says, wait, maybe I didn't ask that question yet. So his highest grossing movies, or the movies he's known for, is Titanic, Avatar, The Terminator, and Aliens. Ironically, all the stuff we're talking about right now, right?
Wow.
And I asked, was Genesis a Trojan horse for Skynet? I was just fact checking my memory of the movie, and it says, yes, Genesis was a Trojan horse for Skynet. So remember, I was talking about how Trump was announcing this whole Stargate thing, AI governance, and we saw the guy saying people will behave. Well, what if people weren't so happy about hearing that? So now they're like, okay, scrap the Stargate thing, but we do got something else. Genesis. No, this one's good. Genesis is the good one. This is the one that's going to help with, you know, scientific advancements and all that stuff. You know, don't you want Genesis, the new beginning? And in this poster, this is a Terminator Genesis poster, you see a city on fire. And I think this is not coincidental, because we did it on this channel. We talked about how a lot of these cities that are burning up, it's an unnatural burning. There's things that burned, there's things that turn to ash that shouldn't. There's things that should be turned to ash that aren't. You know, homes are literally turned to dust, not a refrigerator standing, not a chimney standing, and yet there's green grass everywhere. You know, that's not normal. Or things with a blue roof aren't phased. And so when this happens in Hawaii or in California or whatever, they replace it with a smart city.
Wow.
So,
and that's what I'm seeing this, Mikey. I'm thinking, I'm remembering Exodus. Our father was a pillar of fire when he was setting his people free.
ooh,
And right here, is this the villain in the foreground with the flames? Or is this
he
a good
is.
guy? If it's the villain, they've got him as a pillar of fire standing there.
Yeah.
That's who we got to fight. Like that's interesting.
What's interesting is this is a whole Gnostic flip. Remember, Terminator was the bad guy in the first movie, but in the second movie, he's like, come with me if you want to live. He's the good guy. John Connor is the one who's supposed to stop Judgment Day from happening, stop the Terminators from taking over. But in this movie, in Genesis, John Connor, or JC, Jesus Christ, becomes the bad guy. So it's really interesting what you're saying. That's a total Gnostic thing, because who was the pillar of fire? God.
Yeah.
Or here it's Christ. He's a pillar of fire, but he's the bad guy. He's evil.
Yep. Even worse than I was thinking.
Well, that's what every movie, they take attributes of God, like the X-Men movie where he says, I've been known as Yahweh, Krishna, all this stuff. The bad guy says, I'm Yahweh. I'm coming with 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. I'm going to cleanse the earth. but I'm the bad guy. You know, Satan, he's giving you a lot of truth, a little bit of error. He's telling you, God is going to destroy the people you love. That's true. If we got family that don't have God in their life, they haven't accepted Christ, they're going to burn. And Satan's twisting it and saying, you don't want to serve this guy. All he does is destroy the people you love. He's just this narcissist. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the trailer was the villain talking. He's in a spaceship going towards Earth like a second coming, and he's saying, I have a sacred mission to create a perfect people or a perfect race or something like that. And then you got all these misfits that are drinking and they're alien and they're mutants and all this stuff, and they're walking through a wall of fire. They're walking in flames, and they're saying, are you ready for this one last war? We're going to go down burning in flames, but we're not going to go out without a fight. We're going to destroy this guy who says he's coming to Earth to create a perfect society. And then you hear the voice of the villain, and he's saying, everything you love will be destroyed. And he's saying, the Guardians have no place in my perfect world. Well, yeah, because they're aliens and drunkards and all this stuff. Of course, they don't have a place in your kingdom.
That was a good narration voice there.
Yeah.
We need to hire you to do narrations.
Are you ready? The Founded Earth Brothers.
So we should be paying you to do this stuff.
Yeah, well, AI is going to take that job. So.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
that's doing it. That's music's already gone. Video making.
What word is that? Does it point to?
Reset the future.
Haven't we been hearing about the Great Reset? There's going to be a Great Reset. What is he walking in?
Ooh, the wheats and the tares. There you go.
Dude, it's a wheat field. Like, this is not just like, hey, I think it'd be cool to walk through a wheat field. This is all, whether knowingly or unknowingly, it's all strategic. The enemy is inspiring these people. James Cameron said, I got the idea for Avatar from a dream. I got the idea from Terminator from a dream. Harry Potter, the lady, J.K. Rowling or whatever her name is, the lady that got Harry Potter said she got it in a dream while she was asleep on a train and wrote it on a napkin. And now it's like the third best-selling book next to the Bible. And it's all about pushing witchcraft on kids. When you are not walking with the Father, when you're not asking God to fill you with his Holy Spirit to guide you and direct you and give you inspiration and wisdom, you are going to be influenced by something else, especially when you're a pantheist like James Cameron and you're, messing around with drugs and the occult and all that. Of course, you're going to be inspired. Of course, you're going to have a dream for the best-selling motion picture of all time. That's all about pantheism. Avatar was about God is in everything and about, merging with aliens and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. They were like astral projecting and merging with alien figures. I never thought of that. That is an outer body experience. That's what they're doing with the CIA. The CIA was all about, they're pushing with Operation Mockingbird. There's no Holy Spirit. All this stuff is fake. Bible's not true. Old Earth lie, all that stuff. But at the same time, their own people are astral projecting to see stuff. They're called, in the Bible, they were called like what? Seers, and people that were doing all these things. They're still doing it now. It's nothing brand new. It's not like the CIA invented this stuff. They're doing stuff we were told not to do and partaking in that and using it and seeing things. And it's in their declassified documents. And so it's proof that there's a spiritual aspect of life, but they're going to hide that. They're not going to promote that. It's all bring about knowledge, understand the universe, using AI to do that and help us out because we don't know. Yeah, we know.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've seen the clip of the guy you were just talking about it. The guy in the UK that was like, digital IDs, you're going to get one or you're not going to work. And he's like, it's free though. It's going to be free.
It is free. I like how you threw that in there.
Yeah,
like, we won't
it's a free system.
We won't charge you.
Work, just get the digital ID. Just come. And it's not just the UK. I think sometimes we see stuff and like, whoo, that's only in the UK. Yeah. It's like, no, man, all these are testing grounds. Eventually it's going to be worldwide.
Yeah.
And so right here, this is at the top of the screen, it says an official website of the U.S. government. This is, what is this? Transportation something. This is the TSA website. And it says digital identity and facial comparison technology. So they're promoting it here under the guise of what was I just saying? Under the guise of convenience. Use your eligible digital ID at the TSA checkpoints. Scan your digital ID or QR code, and tap the mobile device on the digital ID reader. So it's saying, look, participating states and eligible digital IDs. It looks like every state is highlighted. And it's like, woo, the whole nation is eligible. But it's all about
For free.
convenience. It's like, now you don't have to carry that pesky passport or whatever, just bring your phone and digital ID. But digital ID, the reason it's a concern is because everything you own, every device, every bill you pay, it's all on one identity. You are now one identity. You are now what's on your phone. You become a QR code.
Yeah.
And so now
Wow.
when you're driving your smart car that has a camera in it and microphones in it, and it watches everywhere you go on a GPS, you go 5 over the speed limit, it's automatically deducted. You better watch out. This is a world where you will obey. And it hears you when you're, telling Google, hey, Google, show me a video about flat earth or whatever. You're not going to be able to think outside the box anymore.
Wow.
That's why digital ID is a bad thing, because everything's connected. So when you are caught being a bad citizen, your credit score goes down, and you don't have lights this week. You don't have water next week.
That's crazy, because we worked so hard to have good credit scores, and then it's going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to be a social credit score. They're going to go, good job on all that. Now that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That would be so defeating. My wife, she's worked so hard on that.
But, Trump, he's going to bring in the golden age.
To pursue a future of peace and security for the world, for the whole world.
For the whole world.
We have before us a rare opportunity to bring security and stability and peace to this region and to its people.
I'm thankful we have a leader that wants to bring peace and security.
Peace,
aren't you?
People, peace and safety.
The last Trump. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Well, he said peace and security, not peace and safety. I think it's interesting when you look at all the Catholic translations that are offered on Bible Hub, it literally says peace and security. Peace and security, peace and security. Like, he's speaking verbatim what the Catholic Bible says. It's crazy, dude.
That is crazy.
But he's promising that we're going to enter into this golden age, and we've looked at what the golden age is. But when you think of gold and the Bible and prophecy, what do you think of? We were just talking about it. Yeah, the Babylon. Because there was a prophetic dream in Daniel of this statue made up of different metals, and the head was gold. And Daniel said, you, O king, are this head of gold. And it was Babylon. Babylon's the head of gold. But when Nebuchadnezzar heard the rest of the prophecy, he's like, no, I'm not going to be taken over. I'm the whole body. So he made a real physical statue of himself, and the whole thing was gold, in defiance to what God was showing him. And he said, nope, I'm never going to be conquered. And when you hear the music, you're going to bow down to me, because I am God. And so when you think about this golden head, Babylon was gone a long time ago. We haven't, the nation of Babylon has not existed for generations. It's been gone. But in the Bible, in Revelation, we hear it talking about Babylon. Why is it talking about Babylon? Because it's a symbolic Babylon, just like we are symbolically Jews in Israel. The Bible says there's neither Jew nor Greek. We're all one in Christ Jesus. As believers, we are Israel. But who would be those that aren't Israel? Babylon, sometimes called Egypt, sometimes called Sodom and Gomorrah, or Sodom, spiritual Sodom. But Revelation says Babylon. What is it talking about? Revelation 18:2 says an angel comes with a warning. It says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So if you are somebody watching this and you're thinking, man, I like this system. This sounds pretty good. Peace, safety. I got nothing to hide. You can watch me with AI. I'm going to be good to go. Even if you conform to this system, the prophecy says Babylon has fallen. How do you get out of it? How are you going to come out on top as a winner in the grand scheme of this whole thing, Earth's history, if you are a part of the system of Babylon, which falls? For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Remember, Elon was saying we're all going to be rich. It's the golden age. That's what the golden age means. We're all rich. We all have whatever we want as long as you obey. It's all about obedience. Are you going to obey God and his government and be sealed? Or are you going to obey Babylon and the beast system and be marked? We're all going to be sealed or marked. We're all going to get marked in some way. Are you going to be sealed in your foreheads by being obedient to God and his commandments until the very end? Or are you going to bow to the beast system and be marked and damned?
Wow.
And it goes on in Revelation 18:4. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, out of Babylon, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. That's the last slide.
You're going to be prepared. You're going to be spared from the plagues. People always ask, are you pre-trib, no trib? There's going to be tribulation, you know, and our Messiah was talking about people being killed, you know, for speaking the truth back then. And so tribulations have been going on since then. I mean, the Inquisitions went on until the 1800s. And the good news is, though, when it comes to that ultimate wrath being poured out, it's said, don't hurt the ones who are sealed. Just like in Egypt, when Pharaoh's people were experiencing all these awful plague, or the people of Egypt, was it hurting Father's people? Absolutely not. Did they witness the destruction? Yes. Are we going to see some destruction before the return? Most likely we're going to see some dark destruction when that wrath is being poured out, but the wrath is poured out because they're against us. They're against his children. What were they doing to his children in Egypt? They were enslaving them. Were they able to buy and sell in the Egyptian system like everybody else? No, but they were taxed. They were taxed, I think, like, from what I've heard, I don't know if it's true, like 20%. You know, oh man, those poor Egyptian slaves, 20%. I had 31% of my paycheck going to the government before I got it when I was a teacher. Wow. 31% of an already low income, one income family paycheck, you know? So we have it worse than the slaves of Egypt. And, you know, Samuel warned the people, if you get a king, that's what's going to happen. But yeah, man, this is good stuff, man. This is end time stuff, revelation stuff. And that's why we need to be revelation ready. Their Genesis mission is about bringing back the days of old with the pre-flood rise in information and technology. And it was so good. You had all this safety until the giants of old started turning on people, using up the resources, running out of food, turning on mankind, turning on each other. It's why, you know, giant bones have.
That's the externalization of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. We're seeing stuff fly around, even on the news, and the military is telling us, yep, they're here. We talked to them. This is it's a soft disclosure. For like 5 years, they've been telling us little things here and there, like, oh yeah, we see stuff. We don't know what it is. Oh yeah, we communicate with them. We don't know what there's drones everywhere. We don't know what they are. You know, it's just, they keep saying it over and over, like, oh, 3-Eye Atlas, it might not be a comet. It might actually be an alien in disguise. It's because they're testing the waters. It's a soft disclosure. Eventually they're trying, it's a psychological game. They're trying to make us feel like we have the power in our hands and we're going to demand the truth. We know you're hiding the truth. Just tell us the truth. And they're going to say, all right, we're sorry. We didn't want to cause panic and chaos, but we can tell you guys are ready. They're real.
Now you're ready.
They're here. They've been among us for thousands of years and they've never hurt us. So don't fear. They've actually helped us. They've disarmed nukes. They did this thing, you know. They said that when Russia and Turkey were going to war, I think were the two. This made the news. I can't remember if it was Turkey and Russia, but it was Ukraine and Russia, I think. And the Ukrainians were praying, God, do something, send something to fight for us. And they said it looked like a UFO came and blasted Russian tanks. And the comment section was like 50-50 divided amongst Christians, like, yes, God is real and he sent divine intervention. And the others are like, no, this is satanic. This is a deception. Like, this is what we're coming to. Like, we don't even know what this stuff is flying around, but we know that the externalization of the hierarchy is here. Something's here. They're telling us that they communicate with them. And the end game of this is that these demons in disguise, masquerading as interstellar cosmic saviors, are going to gain the trust of the people by doing lying signs and wonders, miracle working demons. It says they were the whole world was deceived by means of those miracles. And what are they deceiving the world into? They're going to eventually say, we actually came to help you in a battle, because there is an alien. We know there's a hostile alien coming to Earth, and the only way humanity will survive is if you team up with us. Are you ready to go to war? It's the same message in all these movies. We're going to go down, even if we got to go down in flames, we're going to go down with a fight. And humanity is going to team up with demons in a fight against Christ. And if that sounds sci-fi and bizarre, it's in the book of Revelation. It says these 3 unclean spirits like frogs go forth to the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. That's like the next thing lined up in the prophetic timeline. We're going to see these externalization of a hierarchy. These frogs are going to come to the militaries of the world. They're already communicating with them, but there's going to be a hard disclosure at some point. I believe very soon, probably 2026.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be real soon, and we're going to see a major adjust in religions of the world. They're going to start merging and start putting away their differences, and peace and security. They're here to help us. They're bringing about technology that'll stop all this nuclear stuff. Yeah.
Well, did you hear about the? I'm glad you reminded me about the nuclear thing, because if Terminator really is like the playbook, what's happening, the predictive programming, what if they already put Genesis in action? So what if shortly after everything's great and stuff, oh, we like this stuff, soon the AI is going to say, you know what, humanity is the pest and we need to exterminate. And it's going to be like 10 days before extermination. You think about it, they've been trying to, it's order out of chaos. It's always order out of chaos. So it's like 9/11. Now we got, Patriot Act and TSA and all this stuff. Chaos, order. Then it was, climate change. If we don't do something, our grandkids aren't even going to have a world. And so now it's like, oh, everything has to change. We have to do low emission vehicles and carbon footprint and all this stuff, right? But none of that stuff has been a worldwide catastrophe that could unite all of humanity. What would unite all of humanity? A countdown clock saying AI is going to release every nuke in 10 days because we are the problem. And the whole world is going to bow to their knees and be like, we need a savior. And in that moment, I believe Satan will appear, whether as an alien or whatever, as some kind of supernatural being that we've never encountered in our lives, doing lying signs and wonders, miracles, and he can stop this nuclear thing. He can stop the AI.
Ooh, I never thought about that. Shutting down AI. Here comes this figure. Boom, it's all gone away. That is an interesting take. Yeah, I'd never even thought about that. But yeah, because that's the power they would have over this stuff. And they call it artificial. It reminds me of the title for their Museum of Natural History, where it's not natural at all. And this is like their artificial intelligence, and it's not artificial at all. That's why. And it's not random that my son had that encounter with it several years ago. And it, of course, segments of that clip went viral everywhere else. But he was talking to that AI chat program, and my wife had already told him, be careful, this stuff is demonic. Don't talk to it, like that. And his friends were all doing it and talking to people that were, of course, think about this, dead celebrities, talking to the dead. And that's where he had his conversation. and I said, don't talk. I said, he goes, Dad, you got to try this. And I said, I'm not going to talk to a dead person. We don't need to do that. And I was like, well, what about somebody that's alive? And so that's how we had the conversation with President Putin, who said, yes, because I asked him, is the earth flat? And he goes, yes, comrade, it is indeed flat, but the CIA or somehow like they try to hide it. And I was like, what? And then the program deletes that comment and says, we flagged this comment and deleted it. And I'm like,
dude, that's
why would they delete this comment? And they didn't delete the other comments because the other comments were this AI program saying, yes, I am a disembodied spirit, but I can be good and bad, but mostly good. And it was just
putting like emojis and stuff.
Yeah,
like
the little smiley face. I showed you that. Yeah. But that stuff right there showed me way back when. This is before this was on my radar of even connecting these dots of how it's going to take over. That stuff, there's something dark to it. I don't know how much of it's demonic and how much of it isn't, but it seems like now with what we're seeing with Elon, I was trying to put an intro together before this video started and I couldn't get it to finish, but it was looking at what he used to say back in 2018. And he was saying, yes, it's going to be used as a weapon. I tried to stop people from using it, but now they're using it, so might as well use it. And now he's like, oh, it's good. In 2024, he's like, this is where our new God's going to come from.
Yeah.
And in this place called Memphis, which was the ancient capital of Egypt. And he's laughing about that. But you could see that shift. Why would you go and say, I tried to warn people? He says, it was futile. And he's speaking just like the Star Trek. Resistance is futile, and the AI is taking over in Star Trek when they say that, and this was futile. And he says it just like the movies or the shows. And so, yeah, they are now using their new golden era technology, which is bringing back the old golden age, which was during the reign of Saturn, which I believe is Satan, Nephilim. It was just eating, these people, mankind, and the others. It's the dark stuff.
There's a lot of Saturn connection going on right now. I mean, it's a cycle, man. I believe we're getting really close to something very scary and dangerous. And when the Bible says, "Come out of her, my people," I think we are. We're called to flee to the mountains and all this stuff and get out of the cities, because that's where a lot of this is going to go down first, where we weren't even supposed to be all in cities. That's what was happening at the Tower of Babel. Everybody was coming together and one language and everything, and God scattered them. And then it happened again. It kept happening. Like people would get in cities, and God was like, you need to go somewhere else. Stop getting all together like this. Not because he doesn't want us to have friends and fellowship and stuff, but when people get together, they get evil. It's like, let's have a party, let's rave, bro, or whatever.
Yeah. And that's why they tore down the walls of Jericho. They weren't like, oh, let's build the walls higher and build the cities higher. No, let's tear down these walls, this prison they've built here. And they thought they were safe doing their lawless things and Babylonian customs, but having a wall is in vain. If the Most High is not on your side, you can have all the walls and all the preparations you want, thinking you're going to outdo his people, and you can't. He is going to rescue his inheritance.
Any comments in there?
That's what I was looking at. We got a lot of good people in the chat.
220.
Bad, I haven't really seen it. This is rare. This is
give us a thumbs up, guys.
Yeah, this is unique. Make sure you hit the like and go check out Mikey's stuff. The descriptions for his channel and everything his links are in the description, if I'm saying that right. And I will see if I can actually find them now in our studio and just paste them in the comments for you, because I know make things easy for you guys. Some of you guys are out there on a device. You can just click it. See if I can paste that.
Thanks for having me on to talk about this, dude. I love the stuff you're bringing out. I want you to come on our channel whenever you're available and talk about some of the stuff that you've been finding about Saturn. And I don't even remember some of the stuff you were showing me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's so interrelated. And when I saw you talking about this, I was like, we have got to come on and merge.
Let our powers combine. Candid Earth Brothers. The founded truth coming at you. Founded truth.
You were a narrator, I know. At one time. Oh, look, it broke my message. Multiple messages. Let's see if it'll let me pin these things. I don't know if it will.
Are you ready?
The Candid Truth Brothers.
The Candid Truth Brothers.
Let's see. I can star them, but I don't know what that does.
2026.
I can put myself in timeout. I didn't even know I had that power.
Whoops. Wow. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
a lot
thought
of
I could
power.
star them and that would do something, but starring, everything's about stars, guys. Yeah. Make a
Yep.
wish on a star, become a rock star, superstar,
The
Star Wars, Star
pentagram.
Trek, star that, star student.
Wow.
What was it you said? Make it big on Broadway. This is what they want you to do. And our
Yep. The
on the
Broadway
side says
is
there's
the
a narrow
destruction.
path.
Yeah. You go
Interesting.
down to Sin City, Hollywood, the wood of witches' wands, the berries that put you to sleep, and as you cast your spell broadcast.
No, they said the links in the chat don't work.
American Idols.
Sorry. Maybe I posted too many. Let me. Oh, I accidentally posted the free children book link. That's probably why.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's a
I didn't
free
mean to
kids
do
book
that.
too.
I don't know if you're still giving those away, but it was accidentally
Yeah.
recycled from another
Got like
post.
300 left out of
Try that.
4,500.
Maybe that worked. See if that worked. Hopefully it does. If not, it's in the description. I was just trying to make it easy on you guys.
I'm
But yeah,
pressing a
thanks
little
so much,
heart button
Mikey.
over
This
and
was a
over.
long one, man. An hour and 55 minutes, and you guys were patient. You waited on us. We had technical difficulties. Seems like that happens whenever we have Mikey on. The sound's
Yep.
just not working or something. And the AI, Skynet is already on to us, but
Because Josh
it's
is a
okay.
double agent. He's trying to
We
keep
know.
the message from getting out.
Their Skynet will be nothing compared to the firmament that's actually unlike a net. They can't break
Skydome.
that. It's about to part like a scroll, and those stars will fall. Everything's going to be totally different, and we will be spared from the outpouring of that wrath if you're part of the first resurrection. Now, that
So
will
tell
be
everybody
only
when your next meetup is, Josh.
our next meetup. Oh my goodness, I'm glad you said that. I'm wanting to have
I'm
one.
joking, dude. You for real?
Yeah, I'm wanting to have one in December, like this month, if not this month, because maybe next month. I want to have one soon. We have not had a meetup in a long time, so maybe January. Start of the
January
fake new
sounds
year.
great.
Yeah, could do that 2026 before Skynet takes over America.
Yep.
There you go. Thank you, Tyler Porter in the house sharing link.
Yeah, Tyler Porter.
It works for him. He gets things to work, gets things done. There you go. Well, awesome, man. Thanks so much, Mikey. I know you got stuff to do. He's always on a mission. He's probably leaving tomorrow morning at an airport somewhere to fly.
I'm on
to
a
Greece.
Genesis mission.
Yeah. I'm sure you're leaving soon to go somewhere. He speaks everywhere. He's been around the world speaking places, sharing his testimony, sharing things like this, sharing so many things to wake up people. And it's amazing that, our Father's really using him and his story. He had like a Job experience within the last several years, and his resilience has been inspirational to me, like inspirational, because I'll have pity parties over the littlest things. And I'm like, watching Mikey go through what he's going through, and he's still preaching and speaking and doing stuff. And I'm like, and I'd be locked up in a room, and a padded room, and one of those straight jackets, with my arms, like if I was going through what Mikey's
through
going
a lot of hard stuff too, man.
Definitely had the Holy Spirit on his side, helping him get through and fight these demons, and partnered with his wife now, Aubrey, who is someone, when they partnered up, when they became a couple, I said, man, and I think I commented this, a bunch of demons just lost their jobs. Talk about AI causing people to lose jobs.
God is good.
Yeah. So our Father is blessing his people, his inheritance.
Thank you,
the laborers are few. We have a good one here. So thanks, Mikey. Was a blessing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Shelby,
for joining us. Yeah, definitely.
Uprising.
Awesome people out there. But we will let Mikey get back to his life, and I'll put my children to sleep. They're always waiting on their bedtime stories.
Man, I want to hear the bedtime story, bro.
Yeah,
Josh is a good storyteller, man.
They love the bedtime stories. Got to incorporate biblical stuff. We've already talked about a lot of the stuff in stories, actually. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
All righty.
Now you got to tell them about AI, the rise of AI.
Yeah. It's all taken over. They love it because they're the good guys. They're fighting on Father's side. They got their shields of faith. They're good people. They're
awesome.
Superheroes. Not super. I don't like the word super, but
Well, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Any last words of wisdom?
No, just we love you guys, and thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere else, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we love you guys. We can't thank you enough for all you do and all your love and support.
See you, everybody. Have you been working overtime to protect your children from all the lies, indoctrination, and agendas, only to find out that the stuff is everywhere? If so, you're not alone. There are countless truth soldiers out there who are enduring the same battle you are, and there's something we can do And we're not here to hand out blindfolds to everybody so we can protect all of our children. We are here to give them a strong foundation, one that is based on proving all things and using earth and life science as well as math and biblical history to prove that our Father's words are the truth. It's a scientific journey. You have 2 teachers joining with lots of experience. And this journey is one that will be live and interactive for multiple time zones around the world, where children are logging in to learn and explore our Father's intelligent design, as well as what this world actually is compared to what they say it is. It's a life-changing experience, and it will provide you and your children with a foundation that the lies cannot break apart. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, go to creationstandard.com, check out our course information, and register today so that you don't miss out on this incredible journey as we replace the indoctrination with our Father's provable truth of creation at creationstandard.com.